Done. The tub was quite broad, and a skillfully carved lion statue disgorged hot water from its mouth into the steaming tub. Ains walked through the water vapor and noticed that Cocytus was especially distant from the others. The other two were enjoying the hot water at a distance from him. Ah, the hot water feels nice. Ains thought that as a child, Mare would swim around in the tub, but instead he simply folded his towel and put it on his head, a relaxed look on his face. That attitude was less fitting of a child than an overworked adult. As Ains saw it, he felt surprise, and then he wondered, is the job of a guardian of Nazarick really that tiring? Oh yes. I feel the fatigue flowing out of my body. Demiurge had removed his glasses. He splashed some hot water into his face and went looking just like a middle-aged uncle. So hot. That's strange, didn't you say you were resistant to this? I am, but I do not usually soak in hot water. So I am not used to it. Still, that's no reason to use your cold aura. I hope you will keep your distance. I prefer my hot water somewhat scalding. Now he knew why Cocytus was so far away. The water around him was probably only warm now. You are fire resistant. So it island, fine. For you. Why not try a cold bath? That does not interest me. Besides, I have not engaged my resistance. I am simply enjoying the hot water. Cocytus, do you find this much unbearable? Demiurge. Coming from you. Such taunts are shallow. However, you are on. Stop that. Baths should be enjoyable. If you want to test your endurance, please do so in the sauna. You don't need to force yourself to bathe here. Hua Mare exhaled hotly, his forehead beaded in sweat. Look, you need to enjoy the bath like Mare's doing. Mare, don't push yourself either. If you feel hot, you need to get out. It's fine, Ain-sama. If anything happens, I can use magic. Using magic isn't quite right either, Ains thought. However, he did not say anything, and simply looked at Cocytus. Is it right to use one's resistances when bathing? I think some people do bathe in that way, Ain-sama. For instance, as one of the undead, you will not be dizzy no matter how long you soak. Is that not the same way? Indeed. He could feel the warmth slowly seep into his body, but it did not feel as good as it had when he was still human. An undead body has its merits and flaws, just as Ains was mourning his lost joys. He raised his head clear of the steam rising up from the water, and looked around. Is something the matter? I think someone was calling my name. Could it be coming from the other side? Cocytus pointed at the wall behind him. That's I see. The ladies' bath. I see. No, but the walls should not be that thin, no? Perhaps the echoes made their voices louder. Ains could not resist the urge to prick up his ears and listen. There was no ill intent in what he did. He was simply curious about what a group of ladies would talk about when there were no men around. Therefore, he did not place his ear to the wall. Doing so would damage his dignity as the ruler of the great underground tomb of Nazarick. He even stepped away from the wall and turned to face it. Albedo, you're so bushy down there. Ains frowned as he concentrated and heard the conversation from the other side. Aura, don't describe it like that. Ains-sama ought to be behind this wall. I wonder if there are peepholes or anything. Ains carefully studied the entire wall, because he was worried that someone might actually have installed some sort of strange mechanism into it. There was a time when some of the guild members had been obsessed with making strange devices and gimmicks. The relics of those times might have remained until now. Usually, they'd be the ones peeping, right? I doubt that's the case. There's no need to peep at us. If Ains-sama commands it, we will let him look at us. Why peep? Oh, it's rare to hear you make sense like that, Shaltir. What do you mean by rare? How rude. By the way, is that a toothbrush? Could you please not brush? I mean wash your teeth in the bathroom? I can't help it. Cleaning them is really tiring, so I have to do it in a big room like this. Otherwise it'll be very troublesome. Albedo's voice came from a somewhat higher position, followed by the sound of loud scrubbing. That does look quite tiring. Oh well, it can't be helped, so I'll let it slide. Thank you. Yua, don't shake your head and look at me, it's really gross. Shaltir, not brushing? I brush on my own in my room, so I don't need to. Still, will we really get cavities and so on? Even if we don't, bad breath when kissing can cool off even an ages-old love. The sound of brushing suddenly stopped, replaced by the sound of plodding footsteps. Wait, don't tell me you're going to jump in like that. At least do something about your body. First, there was a loud plunk, followed by the sound of water splashing. Splashing. She must have jumped forcefully into the tub. Wah. Cough cough, cough, if I were a storybook vampire, I'd have drowned by now. Yuri not a kid anymore, don't just jump in. Foo. Aw, this feels great. I'll come here to bathe from now on. You ought to learn some bathing etiquette, huh? What happened? That's weird, is that lion moving? The ill-mannered are forbidden from the bath. Exterminate. A male voice suddenly spoke, which made Ains and the other men look at each other. That sounded like a man's voice. I have not heard it before. But could it be the area guardian of the baths? However, why would there be a man in the ladies' bath? No, I've heard that voice before, it's Lucifer-san. As he heard the voice of that troublesome man, Ains recalled how several instances where that man had given him trouble. Honestly speaking, Ains did not like him much. Island, that the voice of a supreme being? It's so hard. This isn't an ordinary iron golem. Die, you golemcraft bastard. There was a loud crash, and then the sound of something hitting the wall at high speeds. That hit even shook the walls of the men's bath. Just in case, get your weapons ready and prepare to charge into the ladies' bath if anything happens, Ains ordered the clearly demoralized guardians. If friendly fire was not in effect, perhaps it might end in laughter, but given the present circumstances, someone might actually get killed. Their fighting power was lowered without their gear, and depending on the circumstances, they might really need to be rescued. I'd like to be able to bathe in peace next time. Ains stepped out of the tub with a splashing of water, and headed for the changing room. As they heard him speak, the other guardians nodded in unison. Clone. New paste.